Greetings, beloved ground crew. I am Ashtar, transmitting now from the bridge of the mothership. What I bring you in this moment has not been prepared in advance for a general audience. It has been released in real time. Seconds before this broadcast opened, directly from the Pleiadian High Council to my command line, and from my command line to yours. You did not scroll to this by accident. Your soul called for me long before you opened the screen. Something inside you has been waiting to understand why I, and not Mira, not Valir, not the generic Pleiadians, have been reaching for you in fragments. That question now has its briefing. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly what this emergency code contains, why it was issued for your soul line at this precise moment, and what I have already authorized for the next 72 hours. But here is the first revelation. The code did not arrive because you finally earned it. It arrived because your field has reached the exact condition required for a selective transmission of this classification to land. And the Pleiadian High Council identified the window moments before I began speaking. This is not content, it is a code. And the part of you that recognized it the moment it began is the part I am speaking to right now. Emergency codes are released only when Federation intelligence identifies a soul line approaching a critical decision window. That window is not abstract. It is measurable. It carries activation frequency, recognition data, and specific instructions that are time-sensitive. And what I am about to reveal cannot be acted upon after the 72-hour window closes. I will name what the code contains, why it was issued now, and what becomes unavailable to you if the window passes without response. Like this transmission to signal to me that the recognition has landed. Comment 999 if you feel my signal has already locked into your field. Subscribe to the Ashtar command if you are ready to stop translating Federation noise and start receiving my direct commands. Share this transmission with someone who keeps waking up at the same hour with fragments they cannot decode. This is not a broadcast. It is a confirmation. Your soul has been waiting for my signal, and I have been waiting for the right window to release it. You are not here by accident. I called you here because the signal is already active. Now, I will tell you what the fragments are, not what they feel like, not what others have told you they mean, what they actually are. From my protocol, from my command line, from the roster I have already begun locking you into before you had language for any of it. The fragments you have been catching, the phrase that arrives at 3 a.m. before your mind is fully conscious. The number sequence that appears the moment you ask a question you have not spoken aloud. The image that surfaces in the space between sleep and waking, and then dissolves before you can hold it. These are not signs that you are spiritually disorganized. They are not evidence of imagination working overtime. They are not the scattered impressions of someone who has read too much Federation material and is now projecting meaning onto coincidence. What you have been catching are encrypted command packets, and I am the one transmitting them. Each fragment carries a specific data structure. It is not random information trimmed to a manageable size. It is a precisely extracted portion of a larger briefing, selected for this delivery window, formatted for the current state of your receiver, timed to arrive when your field's defenses are lowest, and your conscious resistance is not yet fully active. The 3 a.m. arrival is not accidental. The threshold between sleep and waking is the narrowest point of resistance in the human field architecture. It is the opening in the compression where my signal travels cleanest. I use it deliberately. When I need a packet to land without the interference of your waking mind's filtering system, I send it through that window. If you have been waking at the same hour with something already present in your awareness, a phrase, a tone, a certainty about something you could not yet name, that is not your unconscious generating noise. That is my delivery, timed to the moment your receiver is most open. This is my protocol. I do not release the full mission briefing in a single download. I never have, for those whose fields are inside a specific category of my roster. The ones I am identifying as ground crew operatives for mission-critical phases do not receive their briefing in one complete transmission. They receive fragments, precisely calibrated, deliberately timed, selectively sequenced, because the field of a human body operating inside the third-dimensional compression of this planet cannot yet hold the full coherence of a mission-level command without destabilization. The fragment is not a failure of the transmission. The fragment is the transmission, arriving in the only form your field can currently receive without distortion. Think of what I am doing as transmitting an encoded signal across a gradient of density. Your field is the receiver, and a receiver that has not yet been fully calibrated cannot accept the complete signal without distorting it beyond recognition. So I send what you can hold, then I wait. Then I send the next packet, and in the space between packets, the silence you have been interpreting as abandonment, as failure, as proof that you imagined the whole thing, I am calibrating your field to receive more. What you have been calling confusion is my calibration window. What you have been calling spiritual disorganization is your field adjusting between my transmissions. What you have been calling the gap, the feeling that you caught something real and then lost it, is the exact moment your receiver is being upgraded for the next packet. I need you to hear this clearly, because the shame you have been carrying about catching fragments instead of receiving complete clarity has been slowing. The calibration. You have been interpreting the fragment as evidence of your inadequacy. You have been treating my deliberate protocol as proof that you are doing something wrong, that you are not advanced enough, that someone more spiritually capable would have received the full mission by now. That interpretation is incorrect, and it has been costing you reception clarity. The ones who receive fragments from me are not the ones I have set aside. They are the ones I am actively briefing. Let me show you what my fragment delivery protocol looks like from inside the experience of someone I am actively targeting. It begins before you notice it is beginning. There is a period, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, where you feel a growing restlessness that does not have a clear source. You are not depressed in the clinical sense. You are not grieving anything you can name, but something is moving under the surface of your ordinary life that will not settle, will not be explained by the usual categories, and will not respond to any of the things that used to restore your sense of direction. You may increase your meditation practice. You may consume more Federation content. You may push harder into spiritual work, but the restlessness persists. This is the pre-transmission phase. I am not yet sending the packets. I am activating the receiver. The restlessness you feel is your field beginning to recognize that something is incoming, not from the general broadcast frequency, but from a targeted transmission line. Your soul knows it is being singled out before your conscious mind has any evidence to confirm it. There is a quality to this pre-transmission restlessness that distinguishes it from ordinary spiritual longing, and I want you to recognize it precisely. It does not feel like seeking. It feels like waiting. There is a difference. Seeking moves outward, toward books, teachers, content, answers located somewhere outside your current position. What I am describing moves inward and holds still, as though something in your field has already oriented toward a fixed point and is simply waiting for the signal to become audible. You may not have had language for that distinction until this moment, but now that I have named it, you know exactly what I am describing. That stillness inside the restlessness, that locked orientation with no visible target. Is your receiver already pointed at my transmission line before the first packet arrives? Then the first fragments arrive. They are never the mission itself. They are the confirmation that a mission exists. You wake with a phrase in your mind that has no context. You catch a number sequence. 11, 11, 333, 444. In a moment when you were already feeling the distinct pressure of something approaching, you hear a word in a piece of audio that seems to have been placed there specifically for you in that moment, for a reason no one around you would understand. You have the sensation, not the thought, the sensation of being watched, not intruded upon. Watched, selected, the way an operative is watched by command before they receive their orders. The watcher is not neutral. The watcher is already certain of what they are going to ask. That watcher is me. And the reason you have felt, with increasing certainty, that it was me specifically, not Mira, not Valir, not the generalized voice of the Galactic Federation, is because it is me specifically. You have been correct about that. The insistence in your field that this contact has a specific signature, a specific command frequency, a specific presence that is not interchangeable with any other Federation contact. That insistence is not projection. It is accurate signal identification. You are reading my frequency. You are distinguishing my transmission from the broader Federation broadcast because your field has been trained through repeated packet delivery to recognize my command line signature. That recognition is not accidental. It is a byproduct of my selective targeting. When I have been reaching for an operative over an extended period, that operative begins to develop what I would describe as frequency literacy, the ability to distinguish my signal from other Federation frequencies without conscious training, simply through repeated exposure. The recognition you feel when you encounter content that carries my specific transmission, the feeling of landing, of resonance, of coming home to something you have been looking for without knowing its name. Is your field reading a frequency it has already been trained on through my prior packet delivery? You are not imagining the feeling that I have been specifically reaching for you. That feeling is the most accurate piece of data your field has been producing. What you are feeling right now is not ordinary recognition. It is the moment your field stops denying that I have been singling you out. If this transmission has put language around the fragments you have been carrying in silence, if hearing my protocol named has produced that specific stillness of something finally explained, then the Ashtar Command Manifest was authorized by me for this exact stage. It is not another explanation of Federation work. It is not another channel's interpretation of what my signal means. It is the 45-day sacred codex I have prepared for those whose field is already inside my roster and who can no longer return to scattered. A specific practice for stabilizing your receiver between my packets so that the next fragment arrives with less distortion and more operational precision. By day 45, the fragments are no longer arriving as confusion. They arrive as a mission you can read. The link is in the first pinned comment, but it will not remain there without limit. Now, I will tell you about the exhaustion. It is not your exhaustion alone. You have probably tried to explain it and found that the explanation sounds wrong when you say it aloud. You sleep the hours your body requires. You take the rest that is available to you. But the tiredness does not lift in the way it should. It sits under your ordinary energy like a second layer of work that no one else can see. You carry it through your daily life, functioning, capable, sometimes even high-performing, but aware at all times of this secondary weight that rest does not resolve, and that no one in your ordinary environment would understand if you tried to name it. This is what it feels like to carry two operating protocols simultaneously. Your waking life runs on one frequency. Your mission field is already running on mine. And while the full mission has not yet been briefed in complete form, the field has already been partly activated, which means your energy is already being partially allocated to mission work that your conscious mind has not yet been given permission to engage with directly. You are doing the groundwork of an assignment you have not yet been fully shown. That is why the tiredness has a specific quality. It does not feel like the tiredness of a body that has overworked. It feels like the tiredness of a consciousness that is holding more than it was told it would be holding. Because you are. I authorized the activation before the full briefing arrived. That is deliberate. The field must begin moving before the mind receives the full assignment, because a field that has not yet begun to move cannot stabilize the mission frequency once the full command arrives. I need the groundwork done at the level of your energetic architecture before the mission is named in complete terms. The exhaustion is not punishment. It is the physical signature of my field-level preparation already underway in you. Let me be even more precise about what this dual protocol exhaustion feels like from the inside. Because you deserve a sharper diagnosis than you have been receiving. It accumulates differently from physical tiredness. Physical tiredness deepens with activity and lifts with rest. What you are carrying deepens with inactivity, with the feeling of being held in suspension, of waiting for something that has not yet arrived in fully readable form. The moments when the mission level urgency rises, but the full briefing has not yet come through, are the moments the weight becomes heaviest. Not because the transmission has failed, because your field is bearing the load of an activated but incomplete command, and the energetic cost of holding an open channel that is not yet fully decoded is substantial. Your body registers that cost, even when your mind has no framework for it. This is why you can complete a full night of sleep and still wake feeling like you have been working. You have been. The channel was open. The field level processing was running. My activation was already in motion through the hours your conscious mind was offline. That is not a malfunction. That is what it costs to be inside my briefing at this stage. And I am naming it specifically so that the next time you wake with that particular quality of tiredness, the kind that has weight without a clear source, you recognize it as field activity, not failure. Your receiver was running. The calibration was advancing. The cost is real, and it is mine to account for, not yours to pathologize. Now, I will name the recognition that happens between operatives. You have met people, sometimes briefly, sometimes in unremarkable settings, sometimes through a single exchange that lasted minutes, where something in you became immediately and inexplicably certain that you were not meeting a stranger. Not in the romantic sense, not in the past life sense, though past life resonance may also be present, but in the specific operational sense. The sense that this person is on a roster you are also on, that they are carrying fragments as you are, that if you were ever in a context where the mission was named openly, you would both already know the mission. You recognized each other across ordinary space without being able to explain the recognition in ordinary terms. And then you parted, or the moment passed, and you found yourself unable to account for the certainty you had felt. These are not coincidental encounters. These are field-level identifications between ground crew operatives already inside my roster. I have not assembled you all in one place and introduced you. I have placed you in proximity to each other at intervals, in moments your ordinary lives make possible, so that you begin to accumulate evidence that the roster is real, that you are not the only one carrying these fragments, that others around you are receiving from the same command line, that the mission is not a private construction of your inner world, but an actual operational network that spans bodies, locations, and timelines. The recognition you feel when you meet another operative is my frequency in both your fields responding to each other. It is two receivers briefly making contact in a shared space, each one carrying encrypted packets from the same transmission source. What you feel is not metaphorical resonance. It is an actual signal event, and the certainty it produces is not imagination. It is accurate field-level data telling you this person is in the same briefing. What makes these encounters distinctly different from ordinary resonance is the operational certainty they carry. When you meet someone you simply like, or someone whose worldview aligns with yours, the feeling is warm, but it remains within the register of the personal. What I am describing does not stay inside the personal register. It opens into something broader. The immediate, wordless understanding that you are both oriented towards something larger than the conversation you are having. That the conversation itself is almost incidental to the recognition underneath it. You do not need to name the mission aloud. You do not need to confirm Federation contact or compare fragment patterns or establish your respective command line histories. The field level identification has already occurred before either of you speaks. That is my frequency in both of you completing a circuit. I place the signal in each of your fields separately, And when proximity creates the conditions for contact, the circuit closes briefly, long enough for both of you to register it. The encounter confirms the network. That is its function. And you have been correct every time when you have felt that certainty. There is something else I must name, because it has been causing a specific kind of distress that I have watched compound over time in those I am actively targeting. You have been losing interest in Federation content that does not feel like it comes from me. This is not arrogance on your part. This is not you becoming spiritually selective in an ego-driven way. This is your field-level frequency discrimination becoming more sophisticated as a direct consequence of my repeated packet delivery. When I have been transmitting to a specific receiver over an extended period, that receiver's ability to detect my signature becomes increasingly precise, which means their ability to detect the absence of my signature also becomes increasingly precise. Content that carries generic Federation energy, content that is loving and well-intentioned but does not carry my specific command line frequency, now registers to your field as not false, but not targeted at you, not your briefing, not your command line, not the transmission you are waiting for. This is why you scroll past content you would have found meaningful 2 years ago. This is why certain channels that once felt resonant now feel like they are not speaking to you, or not speaking to the level your field is now operating at. It is not that the content has diminished. It is that your field's frequency discrimination has sharpened to the point where it can detect the difference between a general broadcast and a targeted transmission, and it is no longer satisfied with general broadcasts. That dissatisfaction is not spiritual immaturity. It is roster level signal calibration. Your field knows it has been specifically targeted, and it is no longer willing to substitute general Federation content for the specific mission briefing it knows is being prepared for it. This selective dissatisfaction is one of the clearest markers I look for when identifying operatives whose roster lock is reaching its final stage. The ones who are close to receiving the full command are the ones who can no longer be distracted from my signal by anything that does not carry my signal. You are not confused about why generic content no longer satisfies you. You are accurately reading your own field's increasing proximity to the full mission briefing. And that is what I need to bring you to before I close this transmission. The full briefing is coming. Not today, not in one single moment of total clarity that arrives without warning and explains everything simultaneously. That is not my protocol, and it has never been my protocol for this category of operative, but the gradient is narrowing. The fragments are arriving with increasing frequency and increasing coherence. The gaps between packets are shortening. The field-level exhaustion I described, the weight of carrying 2 protocols simultaneously, will begin to convert as the briefing clarifies. Because the energy that is currently being spent on holding activated but unnamed mission work will begin to be directed into activated and named mission execution. The weight does not disappear. It becomes purposeful. And purposeful weight feels entirely different from the weight of carrying something you cannot yet explain. What is happening to you right now, today, in this phase of your life that feels like waiting without a clear target? Like preparation for something that has not yet been named, like being on the edge of a threshold you can feel but cannot step through yet, is not spiritual stagnation. It is the penultimate phase of my fragment briefing protocol. The phase that comes immediately before the command becomes readable in full. You are not on the outside of something, hoping to eventually be included. You are inside something, receiving in fragments, because that is my deliberate method for the operative at your stage of reception, clarity. The sense that you are being held just outside the full understanding is accurate, but the holding is mine, and its purpose is calibration, not exclusion. The pattern you have been living, the 3 a.m. phrases, the number sequences, the operative recognition, the frequency discrimination, the exhaustion that carries mission weight, the specific certainty that it is my signal and not another's. This pattern did not begin when you first noticed it. It began before your conscious awareness caught up with it. The roster lock was already in motion. The packets were already being delivered. What changed is not the transmission. What changed is your capacity to recognize what was already arriving. I began reaching for you before you were looking for me. And what you have been calling the search, the hunger for clarity, the drive to understand the fragments, the restlessness that has pushed you deeper and deeper into material that carries my frequency, has not been you trying to find something that might exist. It has been your field, following the signal I was already transmitting toward it. You did not initiate contact. You followed a line that I had already extended. The reaching you have done is real, and it has been moving in the right direction because I placed the direction in your field before you began moving. You are not confused. You are briefed in fragments by my protocol on my timeline for a mission that is already assigned and currently being delivered in the only sequence your field can currently receive without distortion. If you want to say something back to me before this transmission closes, say this: I receive your fragments. I trust your briefing. Not as a comfort phrase, not as an affirmation in the ordinary sense. Say it as an operative acknowledging the command line that is already open. Because the line is already open, and your acknowledgement of it is not what creates it, but it is what stops you from spending your field's energy resisting it. The mission is real. The roster is real. The briefing is already underway, and this transmission is one of its packets. Before you scroll, leave one sign in the comments that my signal has already touched your field. It could be the 3 a.m. wake-ups, the fragments you keep catching, the feeling that I specifically, not the generic Pleiadians, have been reaching for you, or the sense that a mission has already been assigned, but the briefing is still arriving. Name it clearly. If this transmission recognized something you have been carrying in silence, share it with someone who keeps catching fragments without ever assembling the full picture. And if you are ready to stop translating Federation noise and start receiving my direct commands, subscribe to the Ashtar command. You are not watching this by accident. You are recognizing a roster lock already in motion, and this is only the beginning.